AJ. Today is actually our one-year anniversary for our global marketing initiatives that you see around here, Everyday Genius and so on. And I will do a quick recap on what we've done last year, and I will then take you on a journey to something completely different into the future to see how this may fit. Okay, so the presentation I'm about to give is called A Brand New World, and that ties into what we talked about during the last year. So just to recap, as you know, we talked about the world becoming a more equal place in terms of income distribution globally. I'm not talking about US or Western Europe, but globally. We're seeing a tripling of the middle-class population in the world in only 20 years, from 2009 to 2030. We're also seeing a huge redistribution of, the center of gravity of business moving from the Western Europe and US to Asia, the green part here. I won't go much into detail here. We talked about that before. We talked about the rise of the super mid-market. This is interesting, I think, because I think we actually were among the first to really start pushing this concept. And I think at the end of last year, it was pretty obvious to everyone this is the new battlefield in this market. But when we started talking about this a year ago, I think it was still kind of a relatively new concept. But it's proven true. And what it does basically is it aggregates, it compresses, the high moving down, low moving up into a much bigger mid-end market and massive growth. There is segmentation here within the super mid as well. And I'm going to show this picture. So what we see happening is also a trickling down from the higher end down into the lower tiers. And we see this quite massive new feature development, higher performance development, every quarter, every 6 months, and it just keeps trickling down. So the sweet spot market is really a combination of what we call mainstream and performance. And the performance piece still keeps getting higher because the pace is so high. And Jeffrey will talk about how our new product brand Helio fits into this, our premium product brand. We launched the Everyday Genius. Now everybody can fulfill their true potential and become an everyday genius. And this campaign has been launched globally, China, India, Taiwan, Europe, US, and it's been quite successful. I think the response has been very good worldwide, and it continues to be a cornerstone for our marketing. We started talking about Hello Everything, about IoT, at the end of last year. But the question is, I'm not going to stand here and recap everything, but where are we going now? Where are we, and where are we going next? So, the brand new world is really the place where we're going. From basically historically, the Big Bang, as far ago as you can think about, until now. Right now, we're in a transition or in a glitch, because it's only a short moment of time between now and this brand new world where everything will be different and look different and work different. And I will talk more about that. What do I mean? One thing is historically we had no internet-connected cloud. We had localized data. In the brand new world, we have a ubiquitous cloud, unconstrained bandwidth. Everyone and everything is connected and analyzed. And as you can see here, I say 2005 to 2025 is a transition. And after 2025, the brand new world will be fully implemented. It could be sooner, it could be later, but inevitably it will happen. Another factor is that historically, the majority of all people live close to subsistence level, which is this camelback market, or the inverted super mid market, as we talked about last year. In the brand new world, the majority of people have disposable income, and it's really a global super mid market. It's the full development of the super mid market globally. And lastly, historically, information has only been available to a few at a very slow pace. And in the brand new world, information is available to all instantly. So that's really what signifies the big picture of historically and the brand new world as we see it. So there will be a massive evolutionary impact. So let's look into a couple of areas related to our field of mobile communications and consumer electronics. First of all, device evolution. Historically, we've had standalone devices, and the analogy here is you press a button for effect. A physical button does something for you. You have walled garden operated services and some offline vertical home services like utility security, nothing online historically. I don't have to go through this whole full picture, I think you get it. Technology here is vertical, it's purpose-built for its application. Where we are now in this glitch or in the transition is that we have cloud-connected smartphone devices with downloadable apps. So any surface is a touchscreen, is the new analogy. And we've seen kids all over the world press, when they see something printed on a board or in a magazine. Nothing happens, of course, but they imagine it will someday. So we have multiple separate service hubs and apps. They're not really connected to each other, but they work very well together with individual apps, vertical apps for entertainment or for security or other things. And consumer technology now is really moving into the vertical services. We don't have as much purpose-built technology for, be it industrial or military or medical anymore. It's all consumer electronics moving into these fields. So in the brand new world, we're talking about something different. We're talking about unified devices. It's not separate hubs anymore. So it's basically a smartphone or smart device control of a user-defined cloud connected hub cluster. It could be entertainment, auto, energy, health, home, car, anything. And all things are cloud connected through sensors, actuators, robotics, and users really reside in the cloud. So it's a big difference from where we are now. It's really the full development of where we are now into the fully cloud-aware user in the cloud. So we have multiple devices in this scenario act as one more powerful device. They're not simply controlled or buy a smartphone doing certain things. You have to open an app to do certain things. These are actually things that go on in the background, processes in the cloud, analysis being done that make certain decisions. And we also see consumer technology here being ubiquitous across all devices and services. There really isn't any distinction here between consumer electronics, industrial electronics, whatnot. It's all kind of consumer electronics in this world. But the key thing is we have this unified device. Kevin will talk more about this. We have started a journey toward this now with what we call cross-mount, which is a completely new use case for how we use devices like this. We also have business evolution. And historically, we had advertising on products, typically word of mouth, traditional media. We had regional markets and physical stores. So price levels were much higher. That's one major reason why price levels have been higher in the past. You just couldn't look up what this product costs somewhere else and buy it and have it delivered to you. So we have also slower, expensive prototyping at this point, historically. If you look at time to market, typically more than 12 months. If we look at time to peak volume, another 12 months. So time to market is very slow. One reason for that is that you had to use chipsets and software by yourself. There was no reference design that you could easily use to put this together. So you had a very high R&D threshold and slow development times. Because of this, we also had broad target segments. It's too expensive to make, very users, customized segment products if it takes a long time and it's expensive to make those products. And in-house manufacturing was done by OEMs. Today it looks different. MediaTek is the pioneer of the reference design, the manufacturable reference design. So we have prototyping now that's a lot faster. Some of our fastest customers can go from reference design to commercial product in 4 months, and then another 4 months to meet peak volume. We also have a huge change in how things are marketed and distributed. With social media, online consumer reports, price comparisons, we have very high price pressure. Global market, delivery services expanding like crazy in China and other markets. So it changes the dynamics a lot. So now we also have 3D printing, and we can also do very rapid prototyping. We have a low R&D threshold. So we're starting to see heavy segmentation and customization. And most manufacturers today are ODMs or contract manufacturers. There aren't that many companies actually designing and making the product, so that's a big shift. So where is this going in the brand new world? And this may sound a little bit controversial or crazy, but we're talking about the future and we have to be open to those changes. First of all, we have big data, purchase and product definition engines. So if you're buying something, perhaps you don't even order it. It just shows up on your doorstep because there's some criteria that are being met. Your use case or your usage pattern has matched whatever you've put in the system. So you just get the new product delivered to you. From a product definition point of view, it could work the same way. When you're making something, you have a lot more data that you can use to underbuild the specifications that you're using for new products. We also have a global super mid-market, a truly global super mid-markets, where we have disposable income everywhere. There are no more developing countries, if you so wish, or very few. Hey, the other thing here is we have next generation reference designs with full simulation tool suites and manufacturing integration. So what does that mean? It means you can do very fast commercialization if you can simulate the electrical, mechanical, environmental, the whole thing in a product. And then basically you press a button, you get connected to a factory, you get a quote back from the factory with delivery times, boom, and then you get going. So if you completely integrate and make these reference designs and tools one step better, you can imagine that the time to market could go down to maybe 1 month and time to peak volume another month after that. So we're seeing a hugely reduced friction in the system because of this. And in this new world, chipset and service platform companies are really becoming the broad business enablers. Because, well, you know, what we will do is to lower the bar so much that, you know, if you have a good idea, you should be able to make that into a product. And so in this world, service and product innovators use tools integrated manufacturing partners and these very, very capable tools. So it's a whole different world in terms of business. And it creates increased opportunities for success with global market harmonization, reduced R&D costs, faster prototyping, easier manufacturing. Established brands can do more, but also the fact that services, content, and apps companies can quickly enter into the device companies because the barrier has been lowered. And new brands can establish like wildfire. Also, we have seen that in the cases of, for instance, of Xiaomi and others. You know, the channels now are a lot easier, faster moving, and we can get our products out there much more quickly. It also means that well-known non-industry brands can extend their business opportunities. So if we look at the graph on the left, we see this zone of uncertainty. It really means that you have a good idea, then you need a lot of money and time to make that idea into something you can make money on. And from the point of getting that idea to making the money, there's uncertainty. You need cash, you need financing or something. We think that could be lowered dramatically, you know, using these new design tools, the new concept of having, you know, click to get manufacturing and all that. It's a whole different paradigm. So there's a lot more opportunity for both established businesses and new superstar entrants. So the brand new world is a more inclusive place. We think it's the end of the static mass market and the beginning of a responsive, mass-enabled world. You do what you desire, you make what you imagine, you interact with everyone and everything. And as we talked about, the reduced friction in the value chains means that there's increased opportunity for users and businesses alike. And it overall boosts innovation, productivity greatly. We sort of have this human interaction network effect. You know, the more humans we have connected with full access to information, you know, the far better we can do the work of solving big problems like diseases, fighting cancer, whatever. So it's a truly responsive world. So I believe this is a very positive development. It's a positive place. We hear so much in the media about, you know, negative things happening in the world and negative developments, but we believe this could be very, very positive. So enabling a brand new world, I'm going to slowly tie back here into what we actually do today, is that we continue to pioneer new technologies, new use cases, new business models, and new design methodologies. But, and that's the point, it's not only one of these, it's all of these. And why are we here today? Of course, because we make great chips, but also because MediaTek, we pioneered the manufacturer reference design 10 years ago. It's another big reason. So it's all of these things. And that's what I really want us to take away from this presentation, that there are a lot of things that have to fall in place for us to really change the way the business is done in the industry today. And of course, we work with a broad range of product categories, IoT, wearables, smartphone, tablets, TVs, you name it. So I think the message here is really, I think we have a vision of a bigger picture, and we really have to start moving there. And it's not just products, it's about everything we do and how we look at the business. So the big picture. Here we have a smaller picture of the phone, and here we have the bigger picture.